What's going on, everybody? We back for another episode of the Black Men Ventures Fireside Chat. It's me, Torrance Reed, and your co-host Jonathan King. We have some amazing young men tonight, amazing founders, Trey Brown and Eric Green, right? I wouldn't even do you justice introducing them, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Eric, you can go first for us.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? My name is Eric Jonathan Green II. I'm a senior biology major at Howard University, and I'm also the president and founder of Emu Gaming.
Where are you based out of?
Right now I'm based out of Delaware, but when I'm at school, I'm in DC. Sometimes I'm in New York. I'm really all over the East Coast.
Okay. All right. Trey, what about you?
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Trey Brown. I'm a 15-year-old full-time entrepreneur. I'm from Philadelphia and CEO of Spurgo. I started Spurgo January 2018 with my birthday money. It's a lifestyle, designer apparel brand. Got 2 stores, so we working for sure.
Nice. Wow, 2 stores, 2 brick and mortars.
Yes.
Wow.
1 headquarters and then 1 store in Virginia.
What part of Virginia? Interesting.
Arlington. I was about to say DC, but they be on me like when I say DC. From DC.
DMV, yeah. Baby, DMV.
So it's in Arlington, VA, Pentagon City Mall.
Word. Nice. Okay.
Well, that's big, bro. That's big. Yeah. That's big.
Yeah. Torrance, we gotta go pick up some stuff, man. Yeah.
That's on you, right?
That's right. On me?
We're gonna pick it up for me and you on you, right?
I was hoping since we interviewing Trey, he'd give us a discount or something. No, we got to support. Man. We got to support. Right. Yeah, man. It's a pleasure. Again, it's so grateful to have you guys here, man. Again, I'm Jonathan King. I'm the co-host along with Torrance Reed. And this is, one of our episodes with 2 young Black entrepreneurs, man. So I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna dive right into it. I don't want to waste no time. I think it's a lot of knowledge that you guys probably can share. I want to first start off with Trey. You're from Philadelphia. That's where you're from.
Yes.
And you are a full-time entrepreneur. Where did you get the entrepreneurship tact from? Like, who did you see that was an entrepreneur? Like, what made you say, I'm gonna spend this birthday money at 13? You said 3 years ago, 12.
Yeah,
like, 12. Yeah, what did that look like?
It was really like a few different aspects of me getting like the entrepreneurial spirit, and different things like that. But I'll say like the main thing, number one, my mom, my mom had a clothing business, before I started Spurgo. So my mom, and then also me just going to church every Sunday, clothing was very essential. Clothing was very essential in my household, so you can't come on my house where you're looking a mess. So that's where I got like the clothing part from. But the business, I would always like watch YouTube a lot, like watch Mr. Sean Diddy Combs, Mr. Jay-Z, like interviews, and I would just see them like getting into business. I never really knew much about it, but I just knew like when I grew up, like I wanted to do something with business. And I started off at 12, and I started real early, and that's my goal, really, to show the youth, that you could start a business, you could chase your dreams at any age.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Sure. Absolutely. So it was in your house, like you seen it, like your mom was fly. Before you head to church, you had to make sure you was looking good. So it's just a culture that was around you, it seems like.
For sure. Yeah. My mom, she was a seamstress, so always coming into my mom, like designing clothes and putting clothes together and different things like that. So definitely an inspiration. My mom always had a hustler spirit too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you a quick question, Trey. What do you think was an advantage you had because you just grew up in an entrepreneurial household?
One of the advantages I have, and that's one thing a lot of people always said about me, was just really having like a more mature spirit, being young. Like when a lot of times, like when like I was young, while a lot of other kids, like while they were watching like SpongeBob and stuff, I was really watching like 12 Years a Slave and different things like that at like 3 years old. And like just always wanting to learn more, if it was about Martin Luther King or, whoever it was about. So just always having a more mature spirit as a young kid, So I don't know, that was like quite an advantage, because me wanting to, get into business early, that was like a big advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Eric, what about you? What's your story? What made you, want to go into entrepreneurship, let alone gaming, like a massive industry that is not minority led at all? What was your story? How did you get there?
Yeah, so I really saw it my whole life. I grew up in North Jersey in Newark, and I saw my dad the whole time. He used to work on Wall Street. So for a while, I would go with him to work and go to his offices and talk to people, his colleagues. And until I probably got to high school, I didn't know that people did anything else besides, work in big skyscrapers. That's all I thought was out there. So it kind of just seemed like a natural progression for me as I was going on. My youth years, I wasn't anywhere on Trey's level, but I had like a little clothing brand I would sell at AAU basketball games sometimes, called it Baller Streetwear. But I didn't really have a passion for clothing, so that didn't really stick with me. But I definitely always wanted to just keep providing services to people that make their lives better. That's really what I like to do, just really solve problems and provide value to people.
Yeah, that's key. That's key. And for you to pick up that early, and you didn't see your dad necessarily in the entrepreneurship realm, where do you think you tapped into that entrepreneurship independence? Because that's what entrepreneurship is, right? You're fighting not just to help people, but you're fighting to be independent, create your own schedule. You have the tact for something bigger than just a 9 to 5. Where do you think that came from?
Yeah, I definitely still got to give credit to my dad for that one. He started a collaborative consulting group when my sister was born. I think it was 2008. And he started doing business consulting for different software projects. And just seeing how the difference is, right? Because on one hand, you're going to an office every day. There's like 400-500 people working for this huge company. You're doing all these multi-million-dollar contracts versus going out and prospecting new people to work for you and going to sign up for these new contracts. And that's what I really enjoyed doing, is prospecting and closing deals. So I think that's definitely where I got that from.
Got you. So your dad was an entrepreneur. He did have a consulting company.
Yes.
Right? So yeah, it's funny. Like Torrance, like you can tap in if you think it's a similarity. It's so interesting that I see a lot of people that are getting things passed down, right? The experiences like, Trey mom being a seamstress, Eric dad having a consulting company, and just having that knowledge, or even just them not maybe knowing that their kid is watching, but indirectly they're watching, right? So a big takeaway for me is, start now. No matter how old you are, start now, because somebody that's younger is looking at you, right?
I totally agree. Totally agree. Right? Like when my kids are in the car, I mean, they're small, but I listen to podcasts just because I know that 10 years from now, they may hear something that jogs their mind, or they may hear the word business or ROI, right? Like if you embed it young, that's the only path that you can follow, right? If it's there, right? So that's dope. That's dope that it was, in both of y'all's households, and you all seen it, right? And that gave you a leg up. So question, being that you have a leg up, did that give you an advantage in balancing entrepreneurship and your education?
I think that being like kind of reflecting, I do like a lot of reflecting now that I'm about to be a senior. And I think that was really like the biggest strength that I had while going to school. Because for a while I played sports since I was 5, like every season up all the way until I was a freshman in college. And it was literally just sports and gaming. I didn't really focus on the school part as far as like anything besides business. It really just play a sport, and then you'll just get a scholarship and go to school. And that's exactly what ended up happening. And then unfortunately my school ended up shutting down, so I had to transfer. But it kind of worked out how I expected it to, which is kind of different, because I definitely don't tell my younger cousins and stuff to just play sports. Like I definitely tell them to go harder on the school aspect. But I think my case is a little different. We've always been able to excel in like the educational space. Like even like SAT scores were like exceptionally high. And true story, I fell asleep on the SAT, and I was still scared.
Oh gosh!
So
gosh!
Wow! Yeah. So
that's an amazing story. It may tell you you are meant to be an entrepreneur. Tests are not made for everybody, you know. But no,
Trey,
it's funny.
how about you, Trey? How do you handle, getting to the bag and getting to the A's?
For sure. So I started went early off and about like my first 2 years in Spurgo. This is actually a third year in. But I think it was the first year. It was like February 2019. No, this was actually the second year, February 2019. And I started like traveling a lot with my mentors. Like he would just call me, or different one of my mentors, like they might call me like, "Yo, Trey, you trying to go to LA today?" Or, "Yo, Trey, you trying to go to Miami?" But I was still in school. And I started learning about cyber school. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing cyber school. The reason for cyber school is because it really helps me manage my time. A lot of times I might be on a plane, or I might be in a meeting, where I just might not be available at the time. So cyber school really helps me manage my time schedule. And also it's not like a certain time that I have to be on school like every day. Whenever I get a chance to hop on it, it's a few assignments that I might have to do, but I easily knock it out. And that really saves me about probably like 4 or 5 hours out the day, that I could be working on something else, or even if it's rest or, whatever it is. So that's the reason. That's really how I'm balancing school, and business. I'm doing cyber school. Just past my 9th grade year. Now I'm going into my 10th grade year.
So who made that decision for you to do that? Like, was that a decision that like you and your mom made together, your family, or you guys just knew the potential of Spurgo and it's like, yo, Trey he gotta have his time. Like what does that look like?
It was actually it was a lot of persuading. A lot of my mentors had to do to persuade my mom.
Okay.
Actually, a few of my mentors, they actually flew in to the city of Philadelphia, because I had mentors all over from different states. So they all flew in to Philadelphia. They had a conversation with my mom like, yo, Spurgo gonna be big. Trey gonna be big. We just need him to get like cyber school, and they was breaking it down on how it can help me a lot. And it helped. That was 2019. And we in 2021. I was able to retire my mom. Opened up my first headquarters last year. And opened up my second store. So we just working. So the cyber school is really helping, and it's helping me stay on track with school as well. So it's all about balance, but that's a great way to balance things. You having a business.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
So that's just crazy to hear you say I retired my mom. And like most people your age are like outside playing kickball, right? so I commend you, man. I can hear your maturity, right?
Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Mr. Turner.
One thing I heard you say was rest, right? And it's so funny that even at your age, some of the entrepreneurs our age don't understand that they need rest, right?
Yeah.
So what's your and then Eric, you can chime in as well, right? Because you need rest too, right? You can't churn away at your business and not pay attention to your studies. So like, what's your thought process on keeping everything balanced, like school and entrepreneurship and your body and your mind, right? Like, how do you all approach that?
For me, just like planning, really having a schedule. Having a schedule is super essential, because like if you just waking up and you don't know what you're doing or what you got planned, you might sleep all day, or you might just never sleep. So like with me having a schedule, kind of know what my day look like, I'm able to build around it. Like, all right, I'm gonna go to sleep at this time, or I'm gonna do this today. But when you don't have no schedule, you just moving on however you feel at the time. So having a schedule really helps me, like rest and rest super essential. Actually, before I even started like learning about how much rest is essential, I was actually in a hospital, because of me just working a lot. Like every day, I would a lot of people say like I worked myself in the hospital by like, just not resting every day, just wanting to get up and constantly, just ready for the next thing. I wasn't getting no sleep. And this was at a time where I was on tour with Mr. Eric Thomas. I was at the Ellen show. So, I was just flying all over from, LA to Houston, Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, different time zones, and wasn't getting no rest. And I went to the hospital. I'm glad that I was able to make it out, the hospital. But sometimes people don't make it out. But they were really just saying, you just need to rest some more and rest your body, and how super essential it was. So that's what I started doing. Schedules really helped me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Eric, how do you approach, being balanced, essentially?
Yeah. Honestly, the biggest thing for me is meditation. I've been meditating probably since I was like 14 or 15. That's something that we just did at my high school for football. So it's something that just really stuck with me. So I meditate every night. At least I try to get like a minimum 10 minutes. Like usually I go for like 30 minutes if it's like a good night and I'm ready. I have like a strict like bedtime with myself during the school year. I try to be in bed honestly by like 9:30. During like the summer times it's like 11 and I'm sleeping. I probably wake up at like 6 o'clock depending on the day, 6 to 7 o'clock. And then really just during the day, I like to try to like take like brain breaks because I do like a lot of thinking, I'm having a lot of meetings, talking to a lot of people, juggling a lot of hats at the same time. So I like to take like, even if it's 5-10 minutes and just recoup. I actually have this really cool thing. I have like the Oculus VR headset and it has like this Calm app and it's called Trip actually. And it just is a full like virtual reality meditation application. And you just hop in there for 5 minutes and you're in like a whole different world. And it's just like
I have one of those. I got one of those, and I'm gonna get that app as soon as I'm actually.
Oh wow!
You got
it. I'm gonna grab that. Yeah. I love VR.
You know what I'm hearing though is and I want to make sure we're not missing something is discipline, bro. This discipline, like both of you all just said, is you all practice discipline at a very young age. As somebody that's almost probably double you guys' age is, I want you guys to know how crucial understanding that is at your age. That is going to put you all ahead of everybody. Even if you all already feel like you're ahead of everybody your age, is going to 10 times catapult your career. Discipline and understanding the importance of the meditation, the scheduling, so once you understand, like, as adults, we sometimes get mixed up in the everyday, life things, right? So what I would tell you guys and what I would tell myself if I was Trey or Eric age is hone in on those skills and master those skills so they become so regular. They're just like normal traits that you do every day. So once you get into real life situations, start, you're working your business, Trey, your business is doing 20 million, Eric, your business is doing 30 million. You guys already have a set routine already and it doesn't change. So I just wanted to say that, like, I'm extremely, like, I'm blown away hearing like guys this age, like young men this age talk about meditation and setting a schedule, because when I was an entrepreneur at you guys' age, those weren't the conversations that was happening at all. So I just wanted to say that you guys are ahead of your time there. I had Torrance, you had something else before I went to the next question?
No, I mean, like you said, you can just hear how disciplined they are, and that's necessary. Right. Yeah. It's necessary. But it's funny. It's also something that's looked at as an accolade that you achieve or reach. So like John said, you ought to have it early, right? Like, it's amazing. Right.
Yeah. I have a question for you guys, just off topic. What are you guys listening to podcast wise? Like, what's like maybe like your number one or number two podcast? Are you guys listening to anything right now?
My number one podcast is actually my mentor's podcast. It's called Earn Your Leisure.
Okay.
I'm listening to that a lot often. Yeah, Earn Your Leisure. Sleep is for Suckers. That's really what I be listening to.
Sleep is for Suckers is on to something. I'm following him now. I love what he's doing.
I got actually Earn Your Leisure and Sleep is for Suckers. Both of them are like up there, like the 100,000 views, like 300,000, 600,000. You gotta check it out. That's a lot of game in them joints.
So, what book so far would you say has changed your life? I'll go first. The book that changed.
Eric, hold on, Eric, what you listening to?
I'm sorry.
I'm a big Joe Rogan guy. I can't lie. Joe Rogan's like my go-to. I just love how like so many different people, so many different perspectives on things. That's just kind of like how my brain works. Like just having all those different perspectives. I love that. Otherwise, there's like I forgot what it's called, but it's like a true crime podcast I watch a lot or listen to.
True crime, yep. It's a whole lot of them nowadays. Mine is Earn Your Leisure, and I would say Leadership is a podcast that speaks about entrepreneurship and how leadership will make you a better entrepreneur. So learning how to be a better leader will make you become a better entrepreneur. So Leadership and EYL is probably my top two go-tos right now as well.
What am I listening to? So oddly, I've been doing a lot of the Earn Your Leisures and the Sleepers for Suckers for the last couple of years. And so one day I was in the car and I was like, I need something different. And so my guy sent me a podcast called the Capitalism Fund. Right. So what they do is they fund early stage startups, right? Literally so that the founder can go breathe and think and operate in their genius, and so that they can get out of the rut that is being an entrepreneur. Right? It's real dope. It's real dope. It'll have you thinking about ways you can improve your business so you can get to that point where they would want to fund you. Right, because that's where that's where a lot of us end up at, right? The clutter, right? Like recently, I took everything off of my schedule on Fridays. Right, some people are not going to be happy about it, but that's going to be the day my mind breathes, and the only thinking I'm going to do is be self-initiated thinking, meaning no one talking to me and pushing anything else into my mind. Right?
Yeah, I understand. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah,
I got a question for Trey and Eric. Why the names? What made you go with Spurgo? What made you go with Emu Gaming? What's the significance of the names? I was trying to look up, like I was trying to Google, like what's Spurgo? Yeah. Like what is that?
I came up with the name Spurgo. I was combining the words sports and heroes. And heroes, not like superheroes or anything like that, but my personal heroes, like positive people that I look up to. They were two things I love: sports and heroes. And then I added Geo at the end because Spurgo is for the go-getters. That don't matter what your profession is, as long as you're working hard every day, going hard at your dreams, chasing your dreams. That's Spurgo. We got a lot of different campaigns that mean a lot of different things. That's 2018. That's when we started. And this is actually when I was best-selling sweatsuits. This is our real sweatsuit. But Spurgo, sports, heroes, Geo for the go-getters. Go mode. Sure.
That's crucial.
Eric, what about you? That's dope, man. That sweatsuit is fire, by the way.
Appreciate you so much, Jonathan.
So Emu Gaming is a gaming communications company. So we wanted our name and our logo to represent great communicators. We actually found out that emu, like the birds, are really good communicators, like with their own species. So we found that, and then I was talking to my COO, and he was like, "This is a great little word. Make this an acronym." So we sat there and we thought about it, and then we came up with Euphoric Moments Uncensored, because that's what we want to do for everybody. So every time that you get on the Emu Gaming app and you get in a party with your friends to go play whatever game you want to play, you're going to be creating euphoric moments. And our platform is decentralized, so we're censorship resistant. So Euphoric Moments Uncensored.
Oh man! Wow! Wow! Yeah. So Emu is a bird.
Yeah.
That you found out is a good communicator. Then you went to another level to break down each word meaning, to break down the meaning for each letter in the word.
Exactly.
Wow. And you were how old?
I'm 21.
Wow.
Wow.
Getting up there.
Nah, man, you hey, Torrance, please.
Just getting started.
You're just getting started.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous, man. I wish I had a tenth of the thought process that y'all have at y'all's age, right?
Y'all the tech babies, we call them.
Right. So I forgot. Dang, I forgot my question. That was a good one too.
It was about the books, right?
Oh, you wanted to ask about the books, yeah. What
book do y'all live and die by? Mine is 4-Hour Workweek. I can't tell you why. I just know I was on vacation somewhere. I was on the beach. I read the 4-Hour Workweek. I came back to the States. I made some money that next day implementing something in the book, and all my startups have been making money since then. So there's no reason why I can tell you, but things have just been good for me from the next day after I read the book. Right. So yeah, what's the book, Eric? What's your book that you're like, if somebody came up to you on the street and they're like, well, how did you get what you get? Like, what shapes your thinking? Like, what would you tell them to read?
When I was younger, I would say it's a book called Originals that I really like a lot. It talks about how like disruptive people have made such big differences in the world. But actually, I got a really good book for Christmas that's become my new favorite. It's called Our Kind of People. And it really details the story of, I guess, I don't know how to say it, but I guess like elite Black people growing up like in the 1900s, in like the early days of the 1900s, and how they had their experiences with white people, with different Black people. And it even goes into like the foundations of like Jack and Jill, different things like the Boule, like links and everything. And it talks about all these kind of things that a lot of Black people don't even really know exist. And these people were doing this back in like the 1900s when there was no support for you. You know what I mean? So it was really tough, and it was really just inspiring to see like how they dealt with it and kind of the pushback and support that they received just from other Black people. And there was a lot of colorism they had to go through. Like, I think it opens up talking about how they were on Martha's Vineyard, and their grandma would tell them to stay in the shade and play because they were light skinned. And she was like, don't get dark out there. Like, if you're going to play, you got to play in the shade. You know what I mean? So it was a crazy book. It's really good.
Wow. Trey, you want to go or you want me to
go? For sure. I could go.
Yeah, go ahead.
The book that really helped me and changed my life for sure was Rich Dad Poor Dad. I remember in school, this was in the beginning of me starting Spurgo. I was like probably first couple weeks in the starting Spurgo, but every time like I would finish my math work, science work, any work, I would go to my book bag and start reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. And ever since then, or even in class, I would start thinking like, oh, this is what taxes is. And, I started learning about credit and saving and investing. I started learning about a lot of different things, like the quadrant. I started learning about quadrants and different things like that. So Rich Dad Poor Dad was really a book, that shifted my mind to a whole different level. From being like a 7th grade kid, that really helped me learn about entrepreneurship and helped me learn about different things. Like I learned so much in Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it's a real good book that I would prefer for anyone really that want to get into entrepreneurship or business in any aspect.
It's a classic.
Wow. Yeah, that is a classic. I hear it all the time. And the quadrants, I'm still trying to master the quadrants, right? What got me was the small business to investor, right? Because I'm like, oh, I'm a small business. I'm like, I made it. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, you need to, you know what I mean? Like, you need to be in this investor quadrant. So now I definitely understand that. Because even as an older man, I'm recognizing that that if you can master that quadrant and understand which one you belong in or which one you need to be in to thrive, it can really change your perspective. I'm just so interested to know how you guys are in tune, like how you guys so in tune to tap into that and kind of like, oh wow, and pick up on it. Like I don't know if I would have read Rich Dad Poor Dad in 7th grade, I would have picked up on it like like that. But that's awesome. My book is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So that will be Stephen. I want to say Stephen Covey. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Man, you should. That's my go-to. It always puts me in a perspective of where I want to be, where I'm at. It allows me to be present. It allows me to be proactive. And it got all 7. Like if you go look up the actual 7 habits, you can kind of see those. Put it on your wall and read those, and make sure you're being, you're living your life off of those standards, right? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People will be my book, my go-to book, Torrance. It's my go-to.
Nice. So let's switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you all have any experience in trying to raise money? Have you raised money? Do you have investors, right? Like you seem to be in tune with finances and financing and credit and stuff, right? Like how has that side of entrepreneurship been going for you all? Eric, you can go first.
Yeah, so I guess before this year, it was about 2019. I started Haggle. It's an application we're building. It's an international bartering marketplace, and it really took a lot from me to really build something like that. Because I didn't have a team, right, and I wasn't, the super coder full stack guy that you need to be. So what I really wanted to focus on was like the business development side. So what I started doing was a lot of pitch competitions. I actually just won my 6th one in April. So
nice.
Essentially, all of our funding up to date for both ventures has been through pitch competitions or has been bootstrapped. Me and my partners and my team members have been like real fortunate enough to have funding that we can keep afloat and get to the next level. And then we're actually doing a crowdfunding round in Q3 this year. So that should be really interesting. We're
awesome.
Email list right now. So everybody just check out emu.wtf, sign up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, shout it out. Yeah, Trey, what about you? I know sales is coming in, so I mean, I don't know if that's a need for you to find funding, but what's your story behind on financials?
Oh yes, for sure. So like what I was saying earlier, when I started off with $178, and that was for my birthday money. I had $300 for my birthday. I spent half of that on liabilities, like video games. I was into music at the time, so buying like pianos, microphones, different things like that. And I had the other half, and I wanted to invest in something powerful. I came up with the name, for Spurgo, the clothing brand. And also I got my first 16 t-shirts, sold out to family and friends the first week. After that, I used the money that I sold out with from the 16 t-shirts to reinvest. And so the next week we was like at 32 t-shirts. The next week we had 40 t-shirts. And I kept selling out and constantly kept reinvesting. I wouldn't go into the house unless everything was sold. I wouldn't eat until everything was sold. Every weekend I would go out to different barbershops, and that's how I was really selling, but I constantly reinvested, no capital, just everything I got now is from the 16 t-shirts. I got 2 warehouses right now, and that's all just constantly reinvesting in myself. And that's super important just because, a lot of times when we may start our business, a lot of people may, soon as we make our first couple dollars or first $200, we want to buy the newest Xbox or the newest Jordans. But for me, I wanted to see my brand grow. Like I started with t-shirts. I wanted to have sweatsuits at that time, but I knew I couldn't because that's all I had. And the only way to grow bigger was to invest, and constantly kept doing it. And I seen my dreams come true from investing.
Wow.
Nice. I mean, it sounds like y'all are both self-funded, right? I mean, with assistance from the community and your customers, right? But no venture capital, no outside investment, right?
No, sure.
That's great.
I mean, not Trey, but I mean, Eric sounded like he mastered the pitch competitions. I mean, he won 6 in 2 years. Good gosh.
Sure.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
We have been in talk with a lot of different VCs though, and we're trying to build those relationships. It's always important to not just jump right in and say, "Hey, give me $5 million." They're gonna be like, "Who are you?" So you gotta take time, build the relationships, get your proof of concept out, and really just go through the whole process. We're not really trying to rush anything. We're trying to do it once.
Yeah. Also have confidence in your product, because you also don't want to jump into business with anybody either.
Exactly.
Right. You know, that's the thing also. You know, don't just jump into business because somebody has a check over your head and they take, you know, half of your company, but your company is worth $1 billion, you know. So just because you don't know that, you know, they may know that. So yeah, be patient with who you get into business with, for sure.
Yeah.
So question. It's 5 years from now, and you've accomplished what you set out to accomplish when you started your business. Like, what is that? Right, Trey? Like, what is that? Like, is that to be the #1 sports and hero apparel brand in the United States? Like, what are you shooting for?
For me, you know, in the next 5 years.
You retired your mom, bro. I mean, what else you want to do?
Ain't nothing left, right? I need a spaceship.
For sure. The next 5 years, my goal is to hire more youth, you know, for Spurgo. Right now, you know, I hired a lot of my cousins. I hired a lot of, you know, my friends. You know, they're working for Spurgo, but, you know, my goal is to hire, you know, more of them. So, you know, let's say in the next 5 years, let's have 300 youth working for Spurgo. Also, another goal is, you know, for Spurgo to be the ultimate, like, positive clothing brand. You know, anytime you want to throw something positive on, you want to have a great day, I want Spurgo to be the first thing that come on your mind. You know what I'm saying? You know, also just having different stores all over the country, nationally and internationally. So we got 2 stores. We got one in Philly and one in DC, and we're gonna keep expanding. For the next 5 years, just Spurgo being a $1 billion company as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Young Ye. Young Kanye. Eric, what about you, man?
Yeah, so in 5 years, we're really looking to continue our hyper growth plan. So basically, we want to get a lot of traction, get a lot of users on the application, and then have a quick exit. And then in the future, hopefully by that time, that will all be settled and everything. And then I want to start a quantum hedge fund. Actually, that's one of my main goals to do.
Awesome.
Man, y'all got y'all plans together.
Instead of one more time, you want to start a fund?
Quantum fund, like quantum trading.
Yep. Okay. Awesome, man. Awesome. That's Torrance language.
I'm in awe, man. Just at both of you guys.
Right? Capital market.
Yeah. I mean, you always live life when you get older. You think in hindsight, right? And you just like, y'all are my hindsight, basically, right? Like all the things I wish I did when I was pre-20. All right. Well, you're 21, but you know, you feel me.
I got a question for Eric. What is your favorite game system? Then I'm gonna go to Trey.
PlayStation all the way.
PlayStation? Okay. All right. You're a PlayStation guy. Trey, what about you? You a gamer?
Yes, for sure. I was just playing the game. When I started off as Xbox. I started off Microsoft, but I got the PS5 now, so I guess I'm team PlayStation too.
Okay, both of y'all PlayStation.
Trader, I'm team Xbox.
Them servers sometimes be acting crazy sometimes, a lot. Middle of
so what's your guys' favorite quote? Favorite quote to live by? So let's run through a couple favorites. What's your favorite quote?
Off the top.
Ooh. The top.
I know you live by. It could be something tough. You say to people. It could be something your mom say to you all the time, right? It don't have to be a famous person.
Oh, famous person. Okay.
Something that I say a lot is what we do is simple, but it's not easy.
Yes, yeah.
So what do you
go?
So what does that mean to you? Right? Like you do it simple. You said, say that again. I'm sorry.
The stuff that we do is simple, but it's not easy. So basically, what we're doing is really simple. We're connecting people to talk over the internet. That's already a thing for years, but it's not easy to implement. It's not easy to go through production and go through prototyping and go through manufacturing and pay people to build your product and hire the right people and build the right teams. And there's like so many intricate things that aren't easy, but overall what we're doing is simple.
Nice. Man, I can tell you've been pitching, right? Because that's usually that's usually what people want to know is what you're going to do for me, not how you're going to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
My quote is my quote would have to say, come from Jay-Z, or have to say, the genius thing that we did is we never gave up.
Peyton loves saying that one. Peyton loves that quote.
I think it's such a genius. I think that sentence speaks a lot of value just to me and people that may have come from certain areas and you have experienced a lot of things growing up and hardships or whatever, and just pushing through those things and to get to the other side. It just speaks volume, especially in entrepreneurship, right? Because entrepreneurship is rocky. I mean, you may have a great year, you may have a bad year. Stuff with your business may not go right, but I think the concept of knowing that if you don't give up, is something else that's going to come out of this that you had you didn't expect at all is something that I live by to keep me going through, rough times. So that's my quote.
Nice.
My quote, a wise man said, if you persistent, you will get it. But if you consistent, you will keep it. That's one thing. That's one thing that I always go by and I always try to, share to people. Just really like staying consistent is super important. Like you can always get the ball, but it's just about like what you're gonna do with it and how you're gonna stay consistent with it. For sure.
Yeah. They say that reaching your dreams is not the hardest thing.
Stay in there.
They say stay in there and keeping that business or keeping that dream alive is more harder. I like that. I like that, Trey. Thank you for sharing that, man.
Sure.
Yeah, man. It's been so awesome. Like it's just like it's amazing just to meet young men, man. And I'm so glad that we have an opportunity and a platform to have these conversations, and I hope it continues to grow, just so younger people, you guys' age, can know that. Like you said, Trey, and like you agree with Eric, you don't have to have a set age limit on when to start. You don't even have to have a set age limit on what you can accomplish at a certain age, right? Obviously with the Spurgo brand, we obviously see that everywhere now. And with the gaming industry, I mean, who would to think that somebody 21 will be trying to enter a $1 billion gaming industry and really create a brand that can have a footprint inside of that industry, right? At 21. So again, this is awesome. Just having an opportunity to even just meet and know you guys. I know you guys are about to do some amazing things, and Black Men Ventures is here to support you guys 100%. Like anything that we can do. I mean, obviously we have a platform that we are focused on raising funds. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we will be eventually do a young and gifted fund where we're looking to just do have a pitch competition centered around all younger people. And that's something that is in the making. It's not here yet. But in the meantime, man, if there's anything that like we can do to kind of support you guys, I definitely want to know. I'll definitely want to keep in touch. I definitely want to pull up to the Spurgo store, and I got to go to the headquarters.
I'm gonna go with you. I want to go with you.
Yeah, I mean Arlington. I mean that's our hometown. We can go to Arlington too, but I want to pull up to the headquarters. I want to get the Nipsey feel. You know what I'm saying? I want to come to your neighborhood, and check you out, man. So we'll definitely be in touch, and yeah, man, Eric. I mean, anything you guys want to say, like anything that you guys want to drop or let the people know where you at, where they can find you, and what is to come, I mean, where people can find you and what's next for you, what should they be looking out for?
Right. You can find me on Instagram at CEO Trey Brown, Spurgo Billionaire. It's the brand right here, Spurgo. I just wanted to thank you, Mr. Jonathan, and you, Mr. Torrance, for the opportunity. Thank you so much. We got a lot of crazy things for Spurgo coming up next. If you ain't hear about Spurgo, you're gonna hear about it really soon. We got a lot of big projects on the way. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us through the journey. Appreciate you guys for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, Eric.
Yeah, so we're on all social media platforms. We have a Reddit page, we have a Discord. You can access it all through the link tree in our Instagram, the.emu.club. That's also our YouTube channel. We do podcasts 3 times a week on there, so come say hi. We're live. We're talking to you guys, so come say hi to us. Check out our website, emu.wtf. If you want to partner with us in any capacity at all, just let us know. We'll definitely reach back out to you guys. And thank you guys so much for having me on the podcast tonight. Or I guess it's a webcast, right?
No, it's not really a podcast. It's just, I guess, it's a webcast. It's a fireside chat. Fireside chat. It's a fireside chat.
We're gonna do a couple of things with the audio and video.
We're gonna drop this a few different places, man. So yeah, I mean, shout out to Trey Brown, the 15-year-old CEO, Eric Green, the gaming extraordinaire with Emu and Spurgo. This has been awesome, fellas. This has been awesome. Trey, any last words, Torrance?
No, man. I'm just so humbled by you all. Like I said, I wish I thought the way you think when I was your age, right? If you ever need anything, you all have our personal email addresses, right? We're here to help you all any way we can. And definitely appreciate you all taking the time to join us.